Alright guys, so COVID has finally caught up with me. I'm currently about 3 days into having COVID, but I thought, well, while I'm not feeling well, I can sit at the computer and get another video up for you guys. So I'm going to just show you a few things that I did over the last couple of weeks in and out of. I've had trouble. I've had surgery on a tooth, and that's been giving me a bit of hell. And yeah, and now COVID. I've had a rough trot. So I'll get in. I'll film a few clips so I can get this video out to you.
Love's for beginners, ain't no winners. It slips through your fingers, I ain't telling no lies. So F all the drama, F the karma. Just do what you wanna, promise you got time. Be you and keep looking forward. Don't you look backwards and you'll be fine. Come through and say what you need to. Don't let them put you down. Baby, let me tell you what it feels like.
So another thing I've been working on over the last couple of weeks is the cornice. So I'm going to go up on the scaffold and give you a close look of how that's looking. So I'll be back in a second. So yeah, this section here is all complete. I've still got to tidy up this joint here a bit, and the joint over the other side, same thing. It's a bit harder to see over there, but yeah, it's looking rather nice. This here, I've got to just take this block off. I've got to put some terminate the wires on here and poke up in the ceiling, and then I can finish flushing that. So I'll take care of that soon. And then you got the ceiling rose. So yeah, loving this part so far. So into the second bay, I've got a good start on the cornice in this room. So finally guys, the parquetry flooring, I got a bit more done on that. So we're working our way down the hallway. So yeah, happy with that. That's looking good. Got a few little fill-in pieces to do, but you can see we've got the edging going up around the pillars, we could say, and along. Alright guys, so just laying out the pattern, making sure it's correct. Got my new knee pads on, and they're already paying for themselves. Beautiful and soft, so that's cool. So I worked this out in the workshop. I measured my the width of the hallway, and I laid it out at the workshop in some I drew a couple of lines on the width, and then I worked in from there. So I worked out, and this is purely by fluke, that this is 1110 in between the outside pattern. So I'm going to make a spacer up, and then when I go down, if it narrows, I can trim that outside board. And if it widens, I can just shimmy it across slightly, so that it's got, because it's got the 25mm either side skirting that will cover any gap, and you need a gap anyway. So if I have to trim the boards, I'll trim them, but they say you want to have a 10mm gap or a 3/8 gap to allow for any movement on a floating floor. So I'll make sure I've got the gap. So yeah, that's 1110. It's worked out, and this here, I'll show you something. This here is full length. So just by fluke, this herringbone pattern is going to come down right in the middle of the hallway, all the way down. And I did work it out so that it was centered. You always, if you're doing something like this, you always center it. That's common, but you know, I wanted to make sure before I started all the way down there that this was not going to end up offset, because it just won't look good. When you walk down here and you've got four lines that are all exactly the same size, that your eye will just know that it looks right. Even if you're not looking at it, your eye won't pick up that it's offset. It's funny how you work like that, that if you walk into a house, you'll go, something's not quite right. And then you'll realise, oh, your tiles are offset. Tiling, it's fairly common because you always start from your most visible point. So we won't go down that path. But yeah, I worked this out, and then just by chance, and this is the fluky bit, and this is where I've had a lot of luck in this house, of things just working out. It's like everything is just meant to be. So these strips on the side, I've got 3 strips that are exactly that width
the 1¼ inch or 35 mil, and it's not exact. That's not an exactly exact translation from the different sizing, so or measurements, I should say. And then that outside piece is 70 mil. It's double that, and it's left me with a 10 mil gap. And I've put 10 mil gyprock plasterboard on either side, and it's just worked out perfectly. You couldn't ask for that. Just never happens. It never works out like that. You always, if I was laying this out in the workshop, I'd go, oh damn, I've got to make these bigger, or it's going to work out 1.5 size times the size of these, or whatever it might be. But this has worked out perfect. So although it's not exactly perfect to what I had in my head, because I wanted a wide board next to the wall, and by the time you put 25 mil on that, you end up with a slightly wider board anyway. So I didn't quite calculate that correctly, but that's fine. I could have gone with a thinner pattern around the side. I could have made them 20. But yeah, so just letting you know, that's this here. I've already laid that out to this sizing. So I'm just showing you, I was just checking it because I've gone from out there and I've come into here, and I just wanted to check that everything is still going correctly and see how much size room I need here and how much gap to the wall. So that's why I'm going to cut a piece that's 11-10 wide now, and I'll use that as my spacer as I go down, and then it will always work out exactly right with no gaps or anything like that, or having to trim anything. So I can, this whole hallway now, I can go and cut all of these angles, which, like I said, they're a full board, 16 inches or 400, and I won't need to think about it. I can just lay them. So that's awesome. You couldn't ask for better than that. So anyway, I'll start laying them, and we'll see this start to all come together.
No, you wanna, she'll never betray ya. She ain't telling no lies. So break the glass ceiling, find your meaning, make truth out of dreaming. Yeah, baby, let me tell you what it feels like, being independent, no trouble inside. It's like magic, living like a bag, 'cause baby, you deserve the best in life. Let me tell you what it feels like, being no one's mama, yeah, treat yourself right. And you'll be fine. Come through and say what you need to. Don't let them put you down. Baby, let me tell you what it feels like.
Alright guys, you would not read about it. After that big spiel I did about how I've lined it up exactly, I forgot about that 30 mil that wall was sitting back. So I'm one plank out. So if you were to move this over one plank and that over one plank, it would be exactly in the middle. And I would have to take up all of that to fix it. So I'm going to carry on, and it's just going to be a little bit out. I don't think anyone is going to really pick up on it too much, but talk about heartbroken. It was going to be spot on, and now it's off. People might see all these little bits and go and see that they're bigger on that side. Once you get out here, not so bad. You won't be able to tell that they're different, but in here you will. So doesn't always go to plan. So yeah, I've got to recut all of these. They're not all the same now. That sizing is perfect. I worked that out to a T. I didn't take into account the 30mm that wall is sitting back. So remember, I messed up the arch because of that 30mm. That 30mm, I would have been better off just packing that wall out and making it in line with all of this. So anyway, I don't like saying it is what it is, but it is what it is. Just carry on. I had to pull a few bits up, and you cannot get them up without splitting them all. These nails are, they've got like, I guess, barbs on them. And when they go in, they're not coming out. So yeah, it's, I'm not taking it up. So you probably see I'm a bit upset about it, but I just hope that it doesn't bug me too much, because I've got to look at this for the rest of my life. Oh well. So I thought I'd just do one more job for you for this week's video. I'm going to put the chamfer down this corner. So looking at it down the edge of the wall, down like the line of the wall, it's going to look a little bit odd having a chamfer on one side. But I think looking at it from the kitchen, if I don't have the chamfer and I've got it over there, it won't look quite right. I think it'll look nicer to have the chamfer on this side. And then on this side, it's not going to be a focal point, because you're going to walk down the hall and into the kitchen, and there's all this specky stuff to look at here. No one's going to be looking there. So I'm going to cut this out. It's got a flushing bead down there, so I'm going to cut that out, remove that, and then I'm going to do my cuts down there for the chamfer and put my first coat of flushing in.
I've been giving you the worst of me. Now you wanna stay the night. Pretty how you work hard for me. We're forgetting how to talk. Nah, I don't like no humble beats. Just go and slice it up. Now it's time to marinate. And right after we're done, I like it when you're looking like that. Don't like it when you chat. I like it when you're looking like that. Or shy to find, don't mind my reactions. I like it when you look like that. Don't wanna watch a bugger with a white mouth down. Just like it when you're looking like that. No sweets, no rush, can't my attraction. Don't think twice, I'm here for a moment. No, I like him better. I got a church, please help me end up. I'll make it last forever. I've been giving you the worst of me. Now you wanna stay the night. Pretty how you work hard for me. Why forgetting how to talk? Now I don't like no humble beats. Just go and suss it up. Now it's time to marinate. And right after we're done, I've been giving you the worst of me.
So that's the video for this week, guys, or for this last, I should say. It's been, this will be 3 weeks that it's taken me to get this video out. So I do apologise, but we've got the Christmas rush on at work at the moment, and now I've been sick, so yeah, it doesn't leave much time for renovations and for YouTube especially. It means a lot to me that you guys are supporting the channel and you enjoy watching it, and yeah, it keeps me going with making these videos, so yeah, thanks very much. And yeah, if you're not subscribed to the channel, If you want to consider subscribing, I think there'll be there is a lot of different things that I'm tackling on this house that you might find interesting. So hit the subscribe, and can everyone just check your subscribe status, because I don't know what's going on, but people aren't seeing my videos. Even people have said that they're subscribed and they've got the notification bell on and still not getting notifications. So just check that you are subscribed. If you think you are, just have a look and make sure. That would be great. And yeah, the more likes and comments and that sort of stuff that I can get will really help to push this channel along, because without it, YouTube, I think they're being a bit tougher on people these days, whatever it might be. I hear everyone's complaining about it. So yeah, just check that you're subscribed, and make sure your notification bell's on so that you see my next upload. And that's about it. So hopefully when you see me next, I won't have COVID and I'll be feeling much better. But until then, you take care, and I hope to see you on the next video. Cheers.
I'm off the leash, go down on your knees. We got PhD, I'm all that you need. Just give me those. I've been giving you the worst of me.